Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. I apologize if this video is not entirely up to par. I'm recording this on my lunch break. I've only got like a limited time to like eat and get back to work and everything, but I wanted to talk about the Mikal Bridges trade because this is... I have a lot of thoughts about this. I think this is going to change the landscape of at least free agency for the Knicks. And I also think there's a lot to be said here and a lot of unanswered questions. So the first thing I want to say is holy fucking shit, what an overpay. There was 6 first-round draft picks and a second-round draft pick sent to the Brooklyn Nets with Bojan Bogdanovic for Mikal Bridges to go to the Knicks. So the Brooklyn Nets are getting Bojan Bogdanovic 6, I think, unprotected first-round picks, which is fucking insane. And 5 first-round picks. I think 2. There's pick swaps in there as well. I don't know what the legalities of it is yet. But I do know there's one second-round pick and 6 first-round picks, which is insane. Okay, like I understand, like at face value, that trade package is like a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, a Giannis, a Luka Doncic level trade. But the thing is, okay, and I've been saying this all year, the New York Knicks were not going to carry 5 or 6 rookies. It just was not going to happen. And with the amount of first-round picks that the Brooklyn Nets wanted for Mikal Bridges, I was like, it makes almost a little bit too much sense for the Knicks not to trade for him. It depended on what happened with OG Anunoby. So, congratulations, though. The first congratulations I want to give out to is to Sean Marks, because you saved your fucking job, okay? Because the Kyrie Irving trade was kind of a disaster. The James Harden trade was a disaster. And the Kevin Durant trade was iffy, okay? At this point, this makes the Kevin Durant trade all right. But for a while, I was like, we saw 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and we were like, that's a high asking price. Okay, he's a good player, but he's not that good. But 6 first-round picks, I gotta give him a golf clap. Like that's a finesse on a level I have never fucking seen. Okay, that is Rudy Gobert level finesse. Now I will say this: even though it is an overpay, this draft class is expected to not be that great. The Knicks were not gonna carry that many rookies, so the Knicks had draft capital that they simply didn't need, and being the idea that OG Anunoby, we'll get into that a little bit as well, but being the idea that OG Anunoby wants a whole hell of a lot more than he's worth to come back to the Knicks. He's looking for like the $40 to $50 million range, which is like 4 or 5 years, $200 million. He was not going to get that. There are people out there that suggest even paying him $30 million or $35 million is an overpay, and I would have to agree. He's played on average 55 games over the last 4 or 5 seasons. So, yeah, if OG Anunoby played all the time, fuck yeah, he's worth $200 million. But it became blatantly obvious that the Knicks were not going to pay him that much money. It wasn't going to happen. So what was the next thing they did? Let's go get Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart's teammate from Villanova, Mikal Bridges. They won 2 national championships together. And a lot of people are arguing the fit. I think the fit's going to be seamless. I'm just going to call it what it is. Like, he's just going to do the same shit OG Anunoby did. It'll be plug and play like it was with the Phoenix Suns. And the cool thing is we now know that Mikal Bridges is capable of scoring 26 points a game if you give him the opportunity. Defensively, Mikal Bridges did take a step back this past season, but the thing is also the Brooklyn Nets were not exactly competitive. So I expect now that he plays for Tom Thibodeau, he's going to have to play defense, because if he doesn't, Thibs is not going to fucking play him no matter what the front office wants. But this is a big trade for the Knicks. Now, if they can get Isaiah Hartenstein to come back for less money, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, because you'd have to take next to nothing. They are officially a second apron team. Like, before this trade, they were a second apron team, but now they're definitely a luxury tax team. I don't know if they're going to get Hartenstein back. There's talks they'll trade Mitchell Robinson. Steven Adams would be a nice fit for them if they can't bring back Hartenstein. Maybe they try to make a trade for Steven Adams. But it's just the idea, like, this team is solidified at this point. They are now the second best team in the East, okay? That's not debatable. I don't care what anybody wants to say. Pacers fans, Bucks fans, Heat fans, okay? Right now, at the current point in time, as of today, this could all change by next week or even this weekend with Paul George, but it's the idea that the Boston Celtics are set, and so are the New York Knicks. Now, I don't know what Philadelphia is going to do. I think Philadelphia is going to be the team that lands OG Anunoby. If that's the case, Paul George, we don't know where Paul George is going to go. I think Paul George is going to do sign and trade, but it's just the idea. It looks like the leading contender now for OG Anunoby is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers, and even they might be hesitant to pay OG Anunoby the amount of money he wants. It's just OG Anunoby's asking for money that he is simply not worth, and if there was ever a fuck you from a team to a player, this is it. Like, this is the New York Knicks saying fuck you to OG Anunoby, okay? Like, that's what they're doing. But you know what? You got a great fuck you piece in Mikal Bridges. The trio of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and Julius Randle is going to be interesting to watch. Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo are going to be coming off the bench, I would assume. Maybe not DiVincenzo. I don't know. They played really well in the playoffs. I don't know what the Knicks starting lineup is going to look like, but I do know it's going to include Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and Mikal Bridges. They're going to probably be one of, if not the best defensive team in basketball this upcoming year. And that's pretty much what I've got to say about that. Now, how does this affect the Indiana Pacers? All of a sudden, everybody's like, OG's coming to Indy. OG's coming to Indy. I am not exactly sure about that. This was a giant wake-up call, I think, to OG Anunoby. I think he thought he was going to hold the Knicks hostage, and they were saying, nah, we're not doing that shit. So I will say this, OG Anunoby, I don't know where he's going to go. If I were a betting man, it's going to be Oklahoma City or Philadelphia. I don't know, maybe the Chicago Bulls try to overpay for him, or, maybe somebody pays him to come there. That's always a possibility. But just the idea, this was a very, very big trade for the Knicks. Short term, yes, the Knicks are going to be very, very good. Long term, though, the Nets will eventually be a very good team with all these draft picks they got. Every time something like this happens, this is going to be one of those trades that we look back in hindsight, like to when the Brooklyn Nets traded the Celtics for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, and those draft picks that they traded eventually became Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Like, that's what I mean by this. You know what I'm saying? Like, these picks that the Nets got will be eventually at some point in time, they're Jason Tatum, they're Jaylen Brown, as so long as they can, end up drafting well. But it's nice to see the Brooklyn Nets finally woke up a little bit and were like, hey, we're not in any position to compete anymore in the Eastern Conference. I think they saw the run that, we went on as Pacers fans. They saw how good the Knicks were and all this other stuff. They saw how good the Celtics were, and they finally woke up and smelled the coffee a little bit. Kind of like, hopefully, I think the Chicago Bulls are doing as well. They finally woke up and smelled the coffee and were like, we can't fuck with this at this point in time. So, I don't know, man. I like the trade for the Knicks. They're going to be a very, very hard team to beat in the regular season. Easily a 50-plus win team, maybe even 60 wins. I know that's a stretch. There's going to be an adaptation period here, but they're definitely going to be a 50-plus win team, maybe 55-plus win team. But they're going to be very, very good. I think people are underestimating just how good they're going to be. Another team people are talking about are the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic are a team that can make a run at OG Anunoby. They can make a run at Paul George. They can make a run at, there's somebody else, but I can't think of it at the moment, Klay Thompson. But I don't think the Orlando Magic are just going to fold as well. I think they're a team that can maybe do a sign and trade deal with the Clippers. But yeah, this trade was a fucking blockbuster, man. Like, I was playing pool last night. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. My phone went off. And I was like, holy fuck, what a trade. Definitely an overpay. Like, don't make no mistake about it. Great trade for both teams, but it is an overpay. Granted, like I said, it helps because this draft class is not great, but seven draft picks for Mikal Bridges is a whole hell of a lot more than even the Brooklyn Nets wanted. So, You know, this is, if you're, and the thing is though, like if you're the Knicks, this is your team. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point on, if you're a Knicks fan, this is your squad. And if you want something else, you're going to have to trade Mitchell Robinson or Miles McBride or somebody. You're going to have to get rid of somebody if you want to fill up another hole on your bench or at the center position, because Hartenstein, I think, is gone now at this point. But if you're a Pacers fan, I'm going to say this. Get the OG Anunoby shit out of your head. I'm just going to say that. Like, with the amount of money OG Anunoby wants, the Pacers cannot afford him. Even a sign and trade with like an Andrew Nembhard is simply like, as soon as you extend Nembhard, I don't think you're able to trade him until like June 15th, or not June 15th, January 15th of next year. So if you're a Pacers fan, like, unless you pull a rabbit out of the hat and like, I don't know, wheel and deal a whole hell of a lot, this is the team you're locked into. And the Eastern Conference is getting stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though Mikal Bridges is literally only going across town, it's just the idea. This makes one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference even better. So like now there's like at least 2 or 3 solidified really good teams. Even Milwaukee, man. Like Milwaukee could do something sneaky. Like they have a lot of older guys on their roster. They could try to swing a move. We don't know what the deal is with Damian Lillard at the moment. But we know the Bulls are looking to get rid of Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan's a free agent. So who knows, man? Like, we don't know. Like, I'm not saying that the Pacers aren't going to get a third piece. I just want to say that right now. It might not be OG Anunoby as much as the Pacers fans want OG Anunoby, but it's obvious at this point, like, the Pacers need a third piece. Like, after this trade, yes, the Pacers need a third piece. Because Mikal Bridges, I understand he's kind of the same player as OG Anunoby, but this is a dude that's capable of averaging 26 a game. And they got their trio. Boston is loaded. If you're a team in the East right now looking to be competitive, you need a third piece. I know we're past the era of super teams, so to speak, but the thing is, like, even with the CBA, the way that it is, teams are finding a way to get that third piece, and it's still possible. It's just a matter of finding that third piece that fits your team, fits your style, and is not going to cost you an arm and a leg, which is very hard to do. So the idea that the Knicks and Boston have managed to do that is impressive in itself. So don't count Indiana out. Now, I'm going to say something that Pacers fans are not going to like, but this means Benedict Mathurin, I think, is like, not now, maybe not now, but come the NBA trade deadline, if Ben Mathurin isn't like making a significant leap forward, there's a chance that we include Benedict Mathurin and, I don't know, somebody else in a trade if we extend Andrew Nembhard. If we extend Andrew Nembhard this summer and we have Benedict Mathurin still, and Benedict Mathurin is still not becoming the guy that we think he's going to be, do not be surprised if there is a trade. And the reason I say that is because we played very well even without Benedict Mathurin. And as much as I love Benedict Mathurin, the East is at a point now where you kind of can't settle. I think we're going to run it back. I don't think the Pacers are going to make a trade this offseason. You never know, because the front office is very trigger happy. They like to make trades. They like to try to make the team better, which is good. If you're a Pacers fan, it's been a while. Just saying. You know, like, I know everybody was stressing about, there was a couple people stressing about Siakam, but it's just the idea, if you want to play in the Eastern Conference now and you want to be competitive and make the Eastern Conference Finals, you need to start considering a third piece. Because even the Bucks, right? Truth be told, even the Bucks, they've got Chris Middleton, Damian Lillard, and Giannis. Look at Miami. They got Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo, and who knows, that could even change. But it's just the idea, like, most teams in the East have a solidified third piece, and the Pacers don't. So if the Pacers could land DeRozan, I think that would be ideal at this point. I know he's not a three-point threat, but you need to find some way now to get yourself, I think, a third piece. And like, you can get away with not doing it. I'm just gonna say that, like, you can get away with not doing it up until probably the trade deadline. But, you know, if you want to make a real championship run, you're gonna have to find a way to make it work. That's all I'm saying. Like, you're gonna have to find even if it's somebody already on the team, you're gonna have to make somebody that third guy. I'm hoping it's Benedict Mathurin. Andrew Nembhard was very good. Aaron Nesmith was very good. We still have yet to see what Jarris Walker can be, but it's just the idea. This makes this applies a lot of pressure to the Pacers, because the New York Knicks were like, we're not doing that shit again, okay? Like, the Knicks don't think they should have lost to us, and they probably shouldn't have. So just keep that in mind if you're a Pacers fan. Like, every team in the East is looking at what we did and are like, we can't have that shit again, okay? We can't have this every year where a fucking play-in team, or, we weren't a play-in team, but you get what I'm saying. Like, a team that isn't supposed to go there, goes there, okay? Like, the Bucks, Miami, all these teams, I guarantee you, they're on the phone. They're on the phone looking to improve their fucking team. Even Denver, even the Denver Nuggets, they're looking. They're Michael Porter Jr. is on the block. Like, Michael Porter Jr. is a guy that the Denver Nuggets are like, yeah, we gotta maybe start considering some other shit. So, I don't know, man. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.